Oh, it started now. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay, guys, welcome to the third day of the Aurena technical session. Today, we will continue from where Samira stopped, and then afterwards, we'll look into some practical scenarios and Aurena investigations that we need to do as a GSD member. So, Samira, without delaying any further, this is over to you. Please continue.
Thank you, Nalaka. I have shared my screen. Can you all see it now?
We can see Samira.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hi all. Then we have came to the last part of this workshop, and yesterday we have discussed about the commands as the last part, and now you know command is a kind of user-defined logic, and it allows us to execute the logic and perform some operations. Actually, these operation could be navigating from one page to another, sending an email, and or executing some kind of server logic. So it can be anything supported by the Aurena framework. Uh, so actually, we saw that these commands are appeared as a button or menu, and actually, I have discussed these things, and actually, we have covered all the basic things regarding the commands, and the rest will be covered during today's example. And so today, I'm going to start our session with all data functions and actions. So auditor function and actions. The functions, auditor functions is the same as the PLSQL function, and it will return a value. And actions are same as the PLSQL procedures. They perform some operations, and we define both of these auditor functions and actions in the projection file, and the implementation is done using the PLSQL or sometimes Java. And as I mentioned in the previous also, auditor functions and actions will create wrapper methods in service layer, and which we can use to access base server methods. Actually, there is some example we can try with the data function here. Actually, here I'm going to create a command, get country name command, and inside this command, I will invoke some function, and before that, I need to create this function, get country name, and now we will try to do this. So I will go back into my project. Same project I have used in yesterday's session also. Then actually what I need to do here is this is my inventory detail page. I want to create new command, and then actually then I will create new button here. Then when I press the button, I want to fetch the country name. But here I used a data function in order to get this country name value, right? Then first I will create the command here. Here actually we are using the manage inventories client, and using trn inventory details page. So I will create my new command. Now you know how we can create a command. Put this as a get name command, right? Then I will give the entity name here. Inside the execute, we can call to the our method using call, our function using call. You can see the database call to function no action, but at the moment I didn't create that function. So I need to create it. In order to create the function, we can go into a projection file, and there is, you can see this a section called functions, and then I can create function here. I will give a name. And actually here I'm trying to get the function using this relation. I think you may remember this because we have used this in the previous situations also. Actually, I think you might remember I have used this thing in this inventory projection file. Uh, in order to get the country name in previous scenario, I have used this uh, base server API calls, and here also I am trying to do the same and fetch the country name by using these API calls. And the difference is here I am creating a new function, and then I will uh, call these API calls inside this function and get the country name by this, right? Uh, then also you can see that actually this is the relationship here I'm using, and I can pass company ID and branch ID into the TRN branch, and you can see that if I go to the branch, you can see that there is a method, there's a function called get country ID. Then actually the inventory TRN inventory entity has company ID and branch ID. So then I can pass these values into this get country ID function, and it will return a country ID. Then I can go into the TRN country API APY file. Inside that you can see that there is the method called get country. Then I can pass this country ID into here, and then it will return a country name. So this is the mechanism I will use to uh, fetch the country here. So as a first step in the projection file, I will define my function, and this is my function name, and the return type should be text. Then I can define the two parameters here. So now we have defined our function, and then I can generate code and deploy, and you should you can see that this is end up with an error. Yeah, this is the error. If I show this, then you can see that in the inventory handle.svc file, it has created this method, but you can see that there is no any implementation. So actually we need to give this function body here. So in order to give this function body, actually we can create new PL_svc file here, because we could not edit the we could not edit this svc file. Also, we could not edit this base PL svc file, so we need to create a new PL_svc file here. Actually we can use this option, but here I'm using another way to create this PL_svc file. The other ways you can use this bulb, and then you can generate the skeleton. But as another way, we can press Control and double click on this uh, method name, function name. Then it will ask the file inventory handling PLSVC does not exist. Do you want to create it? Then yes. And actually it asks, do you want to generate this skeleton? Yes. Then you can see that it has generated this skeleton like that. And then we need to implement our method body in here. So I will define it like we will return a value like that. This is actually same as like we call the TN branch API and get the country ID, passing these values, and then by this method we will fetch the country name and then it will return. So this is fine. Then I will generate code and deploy. Uh, right now you can see this value if you go into the service data document of this. We'll open it. Now you can see that our method is showing here in the service document, and then you can actually use this value inside this inventory handling, and then you can call this method using its values. Actually, I'm not going to show this, and actually by this way you can see the values what are fetched by this get country name by passing its arguments here. So we have created our function, and also we have created our command also. Then I'm trying to call this function inside this execute block. Right, actually now we have called to this get country name. Then actually we need to put this return value into some variable. So I will create new variable for that, and then we can using into keyword and return to and assign it to this variable. And then I will put alert box here in order to show this value. And you can see that in order to bind this our variable, I can use dollar and curly brackets, and then this will we can actually concatenate this with this string, right? Then actually I will put this name label also for my command, and I will generate code and deploy. Then if go back to my details page and refresh, now you couldn't see that command here because actually we created the command but we did not put this inside our page. So I will copy this, and our page is this. Then I'll paste it here. Now you can see that my command is displayed as a button. Then if I click this, you can see that country name has been fetched correctly. So this is how we can implement a function. And then I will quickly show how we can define action, and also how we can define a dialog. Actually for that, I will use this already created example, TR inventory products overview, and you can see that if I click actually the operation I need to execute is you can see that there is some same products can be existed without within two or more inventories. So in that case we can transfer inventory from transfer product from one inventory to another. So for that, here we have created a new command for that. You can see that the move product command, and if I click this, then you can see that this type of dialog, actually this is a dialog is opened, and you can see that inside this dialog there's two groups: source inventory information and destination inventory information. Actually then you can see that there's a two LOVs, and once I select LOV and once I uh, select the inventory, you can see that quantity is automatically fetched here, right? Also you can see that if I add the more add the quantity remove the if I adding some value here and the added value is larger than the 56, then you can see that it will show a quantity to move should be less than available quantity. This is a alert message, and it will also automatically validated. And you can see that also this OK button is not enabled right now, but if I add less amount to same amount, then you can see that OK button is enabled here. Actually these are some points I need to be discussed in this example. So I will first show how we can implement this. Actually this is the TR inventory product overview is the page here actually we are trying to work with. Actually in the investigation also you can find the what the exact page and what the exact list you are using here. The one method is you can check this URL, and by this you can find the what the currently uh, client or the model file, client model file, and by this you can see the what's the page name. And also there is another option, you can see the debug console, enable debug console, and go into page info, and it shows some related data regarding this page. You can see that projection name, entity set, entity, and you can see that LU name, and we can see the TR and inventory product list. Actually this is the TR and inventory product list, like that. So this is the one way of we can identifying the things which are shown in this Aurena page. And then I will go back into my element into my this page TR and inventory product overview, and go to this list, and I will show how this has been developed here. Manage product client, inside that you can see that our page TRN inventory product overview, you can see that inside this page this list has been defined. So if I go into this list, you can see that inside this list this command move product command has been defined. So if I go into the move product command, inside that you can see that under the execute block this move product dialog has been uh, invoked. So when we are executing this move product command, this dialog will pop up, right? Then actually if I go into this dialog, you can see that this dialog has used not an entity here. Actually, this is a structure. Structures are using in order to temporarily hold some data. Actually, in this dialog, it's also temporarily holding some data, and we can use the already created structure here. So if you go into this projection file, you can see that not that projection file. Actually, this is using the is using the product handling dot projection file. Inside that, you can see that this structure has been defined. Actually, you can use the structure keyword and put some name, and then you can define the attributes inside this structure. And this is like a BLSQL structure also. Actually, this will hold some temporary data. So here we in this manage products client in this for this dialog, it has used this structure here, and you can see that. Other than that, it has the label and then the input keywords. Actually, this input keyword here used for, you can see that if I go back to my example, when I tick this and when I click this move product, you can see that the company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, product ID, and quantity uh, has been taken by this dialog from this row, and these are displayed like this. And actually, this input command will tell uh, please take these values from this row. So likewise, it has taken these values, and after that, you can see that two groups has been uh, imported into this dialog, and you can see that these groups are also based on this structure. And after that, you can see that we have defined the command OK. Actually, this command OK, command cancel, and these are the some default commands, and you can override these things using our own logic. And here you can see that this enable is the enable keyword is used here. It means that OK button is enabled if TRN branch is not null, TRN inventory, this should have inventory, this should have branch, and this should have a quantity remove, and the quantity remove should be less than or equal source quantity. So these are the conditions. If these conditions are satisfied, then OK button is enabled. So we can provide enabled for a command. Actually, this is one thing I need to mention about the command. We can put the enabled here and give some condition, and after that you can see that in the execute block we have called to a, actually this is a action, move inventory items action, and we have passed these at arguments. If I show this at so this action in this projection file, you can see that this action has been defined. It's like a function. We have to give the action name, and all the parameters are given with the type. And actually this initial check none is used for the row level security. And yeah, and I will describe this thing at the last. Then if we check the PLSVC file, you can see that as we define the body in the function, this action has this type of base of API call, and you can see that when we are creating this wrapper methods for actions, it will create always it will create a procedure. For the function, it will create a function like this, right? So here what it has been done is it has called the util API. This is a base of API, and it called the move items, and it will done the job, right? So this is how this inventory transferring is working here. Then I go back to the client. Can see that yeah, and actually I have shown these two validations here. You can see that if I put some value here, and when I put some value into the inventory ID field, the quantity available automatically fetches this quantity here. So it is implemented using validate command. I will show that. You can see that inside actually this is implemented inside this destination inventory group. If I go into this group, you can see that in the inventory ID field, it has defined a validate command. It means once you enter any value into this inventory ID field, then it will automatically execute the validate command, and inside that it has been called to another function in order to get this destination quantity, and then the return value directly put into this destination quantity field, right? And also you can see that there is another alert message with insufficient quantity at the source inventory when we are putting some source quantity which is greater than quantity remove. So you can see that it is also implemented by using the validate command, and under the execute block we have defined this if condition, and if quantity remove is greater than source quantity, then it will raise the alert insufficient quantity at the source inventory. So I think now we have an idea about how this is working and how the dialog is working, and what's the validate command and what are the actions and how we can use these actions here. Then I will show how this will work, and if I use some uh, inventory here, and actually I will use this inventory, then actually you can see that there is 56 quantity, and this has a quantity as 12. Then I will quantity move. I will move 6 products from this inventory to this inventory. Then I press OK. Then you can see that the page has been refreshed and this quantity has been reflected the updated values, and this refresh has been done by this Loo dependencies keyword, and we can provide all the dependent LUs here, and after performing this action, these all the LUs will be refreshed. So this is how it has been implemented. So actually this is what I'm this is all I have to describe about the actions, and then I have defined all these things related to the action functions and action projections, service level wrapper method, PLSTC file, call, structure, dialog, validate command, initial check, and no dependencies. Yeah, all these are fine. Then as the last topic, I'm going to describe about the customization, and here I'm going to do some changes to my I think you will remember the page we have created in our first session, this countries page. Then here I'm going to do some customization and change this label into the countries test, and also I need to get these country values in uppercase. So for that I will going to do a customization. Actually, in order to do a customization, we need to create a customization project. So I will go into the project and new project, and inside that I will select the IFS customization project and go into the next. Then I will give the project name as ODcast. ODcast, and then the build home should be the previous one actually. Uh, I will get it from my previous one. Then put this tick and get the same thing. And at the moment I will skip this actually, otherwise you can provide the customers effects file here. Then we are doing the database type of development, and database connection is the text CMB environment database, and then finish. And OD cast is created. Currently there is no any component, so I will import the component here. Actually I will import the project of my previous project, the OD test project. Actually I am only working with this DR and ENT component, so I will copy only this, and then I will paste it in OD cast workspace, paste here, fine. Then I will go back to the project, close all those things, and now you can see that inside my customization project TR and ENT is available there. And here I'm going to do my changes to this countries page. You can see that it is inside the manage geographies client and TR and country overview page. So I will open the manage geographies client here. This is my client. Actually I need to change this label inside the page TR and country overview page. I need to change this label into the countries test, right? Then actually for that I can customize this client file. You know, this is layered. This is supported by the layered architecture. So I can go into the manage geographies, and there is an option called customize this. Then I will click this. Then it will create manage geographies cast client. You can see the cast part, and the layer is cast. And actually now I am going to change this label. Actually, that I will copy this, and I can override this main page here, and I will use override. Uh, Override here. Then actually I no need to do anything for this list. Then I will change the countries label as the countries test. Then we have changed this label using override in this page, and then I can generate code and deploy. Cannot find requirement TR and country entity here because there is a TR and country. Actually we have to generate code here. I will try. You can see that CPI has been deployed to the database. Then if I check my page, I will refresh this. You can see that label has been changed to country test. So here we can do the customization and change this label. So after that, I will move into the the other thing we want to do here is uh, change this country into the uppercase. So you know these countries are fetched by the TRN countries entity set. So actually then we do our you know these are fetched by this TRN countries entity. Actually in that case then we need to uh, uh, change the override this entity, and I can do it like that. Go into the projection and customize this, and then it will create enterprise handling dash cast projection, and under the main entity details I can overwrite entity TRN country. Attribute is country here. Then I will put upper and inside that country. Then you can see that I have override this TRN country entity in order to fetch the country in uppercase. Fetch the country in uppercase, right? Then I will generate code and deploy. Then I will check my countries test, and I will, yeah. Now you can see that all the countries has been in the uppercase. So this is how we can do a customization and develop and do some modification into your core files. And now we have covered all the things. Actually, there is a simple thing I have to mention because in the first day I think sometimes you may remember when I developing this enterprise handling projection file. I have mentioned about this category. Actually, here it uses in our projection file the category is users. Actually, this category is a kind of thing. Actually, this is we can define this as the type of the endpoint which we have exposed in our projection file. You know, the users here it is using users category. You know, in our application, if I check the URL, you can see that it is using main here uh, because in that case we have provided our category as users in the projection file, and then these endpoints are used by our main application, and this is why we have put this as a main. And if you think that we want to access this in integration, then actually then we can change this to an integration. You can see that I change this to integration. Then I will generate code and deploy, and then actually we can access this using will show. Then actually we can access this using int, right? I will show for this. Actually, I have changed here the I have changed the enterprise handling dot projection file. So I will check. Now you can see that previously it has moved to the our open ID authentication, but if we change it to int, it will ask the credentials like this. Then I can provide these details here. Sign in. Then you can see that these values are all the values, all the entity sets are shown like this. Actually, then we can use this in another tool or another. I will quickly show how we can use in the Postman tool. Postman is some tool we are used to analyze these service calls. And if I put this, and actually in authorization we can put our username and password here. I have used this IFS app here, and if I send this, you can see that we can access the same our data document here, and you can see that all the uh, entity sets are available here. So actually this means that uh, in this or data related services, actually we can use these relays or data services in any client which is compatible with the OData. So no need to use any BIS API like things for integration. We can simply use these OData services, and then we can expose our data inside our IFS databases for the outside world. And actually the thing is the client should be a OData compatible client. Then we can use these services, and then we can expose the data. So this is the thing I have to explain at the last. Actually, then we have covered all these things, functions, and then I have described these things, and also the customization we have did this. Yeah, this is the end of this session. Actually, I have uh, covered all those things. Actually, these are some base and the main things you need to know in order to develop any Aurena client and work with them. And I think I have give you some insight about the Aurena. And actually this is a this is a 5-day training, and I have compressed all the things into this actually I have get about 3 hours into these 3 hours. And then I'm I tried to give some understanding about these things, and I think you have get something. And please ask if you have any questions or further clarification regarding this, and then I will try to help you. And thanks for your cooperation here. And then we can stop the workshop right now. And okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Samira. So let's move on to the investigation part. Up until now, do you guys have any questions? Anything related to the project, related to the activities that was covered by Safras? Okay, we'll go for questions at the end of the session. So if I were to recap what has been discussed so far, so Safras has covered the theories, the technologies, the framework, basically what happens underneath, what are the technologies we need, what are the technologies Arena uses, and so on. And Samira demonstrated the Arena code basically to us very straightforward manner, brief but in detailed manner, and how to implement and what codes are being used for each and every sections, each and every purpose, and so on. We have a rough idea about the Arena code, projection, client, and fragments, and so on. So up until now, what has been done is a brief introduction about Arena, a brief information. It is our responsibility to take this further as a self-study with the materials that has been shared and this video, and especially by Arena investigations. I think an investigation is the best way to hone our skills in that subject. So now we know the theory and we know the code. So let's look into the investigations. And before I share my screen, if I were to tell major differences between Arena and IE application investigations, say in IE applications, I tell one, there are a lot of differences. If I were to focus on the one common thing, if I see, IE applications, the code is either in CS files or in the PLSQL file in the most of the times. Sometimes, very rarely, the error goes to the server side, the Java core, Java side, and so on. So most of the time, it's either in CS or it's either. Can you guys hear me? Is it the volume a little bit low? Chamaka, is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Charita, can you hear me? Is it low or too high?
It's fine, Nalaka.
Okay. I think maybe connection issue. So as I was saying, the IE application, if you ever to investigate the code, most of the time we look into CS file or the database file, PLSQL file, and sometimes Java, very rarely. But when it comes to Aurena, the thing is the code is kind of everywhere, thanks to the layered architecture perhaps, I think. Sometimes the code is in projection, sometimes the client, sometimes the fragments, then PLSQL. Then as Samir explains, the generated PLSVC files and so on, there are so many places. So there are a lot of places to look for an issue, for a single issue. It's not complex, but it's not straightforward either. We just need to think and we just need to keep our focus on it. If we can do it, actually Aurena investigations seems easier than the IE application ones. It's just not familiar to us. That's the only thing. So I will share my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Charita, Dinusha, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, so this is UPD 7 as it is version for apps 10. I will be Aurena. So for the new members, this is the Aurena welcome page to most of the customers, unless there's a customized homepage here. So for investigations, we can use debug console. Samira showed this one already. It has basic page information, and some of the information are listed here. Or we can use the log window. If I simply just click something. As you can see, the log window logs kind of everything. We can choose what to log in for, debug trace, and so on. The debug console, not so much. It is useful for basic information, but I personally don't use this one for investigations. So what I'm familiar with is this one. This is basically listing everything what we need to know, and the calls, the time, any database calls, any securities, anything, everything is here. And then we have Chrome console. I'm pressing F12 in my keyboard. This is what it is. So I will refresh. It is showing a very graphical manner what are being called, what is the time, and so on. So if I take one thing, let's take this one. It is showing headers, the response, and also the timing. And also in this console, if you want to learn more about this, you can click explanation. It will open up a developer document. This document has in detail of how we can use these tabs for investigations, basically, for technical investigations. So this is what I click, explanation. You can get the document. So this is very helpful. This has been very helpful for me personally. So please look into this. And also, there is a performance document which has been shared by R&D. This one. So this is about performance investigations in Aurena. This also highlights some key points that we can use to investigate performance issues. So there's a log and debug one calls and so on. I will not go through this entire document. Please go through it. I will share all of these documents and Samira's projects actually, so we can go through it. And then we have cache, references. This part I will demonstrate, and then CRUD operations and so on. It's a kind of a 10 pages document. It's very helpful, very in detail. Please go through this. It's no time to actually go through this during the session. Nothing to explain it, just it has been explained very in detailed manner. What to do, what are these meaning, and so on. So for the time being, I will minimize it. As for an example, let me see. I will close the debug. I don't want it. I will go back to the home page. So I picked this UPD7 as it is for a specific reason. Most of the, I can't say most of, some of the performance issues has been corrected in UPD8. So this is a good environment with performance issues, so to speak. So what I will do is first clear out all the cache here. So I will press Control along with that Shift, then RMB, and I'm clicking on here. Then empty cache and hard reload. It just do what it says. That was Control, Shift, and RMB on this refresh button. Let's wait. I think this might take a time. Too long. With this example, I will demonstrate a way to narrow down a performance issue. It's not a way to resolve, but a kind of a way to narrow down a performance issue with in a bit of very simple manner, using very few minutes. So, okay, I will clear this one out, and I will still loading. Yeah, I will navigate to invoices to authorize. As you can see, this is taking a lot of time. And if I sort from the time, for the demonstration purpose, I will pick this one with 1 second and 42 seconds, 42. And if I come here, you can check the response and preview. But what I will do is, I will wait. I will click this one actually. This is the one I want. Copy link address. Then I will copy to a separate place. This is not that you have to do it, just a practice I'm familiar with. So if I click here, if I search ref, you can see there are a lot of references. That was the part explaining in this document, checking references. Okay. If there are a lot of references in a link, it bounds to get delayed because references means they are not straightforward fetching data. It's just checking what are the referential data to the main data set. So if I check here, there are supplier ref and accounting code part A, B, C, D, and so on, so on. And all these references are in a section called expand. Now the main query is in select, and then at the later part, Samira showed that this part skip and stop, sorry, top, and here we have expand. So what I will do is copy here. What I'm trying to do is to narrow down the performance delay to make sure that the delay is whether it's due to the references or not. So simply, let me search again. I will select from here to here, delete it, copy the new URL, yeah, it took 10 very milliseconds. Okay, so the definitely issue is due to the references. So we have narrowed it down within few minutes. So what we need to look into is the references. Just a very straightforward thing we can do if you come across with performance issues. And yeah, and one other thing we want to know is that these links are not hard-coded anywhere most of the time. Again, these are generated by framework. We are talking about OData, like Safras explained. So these are dynamically generated by the framework, but you can find these references, call segments, in projections and client files, master client files. Yeah, that's about one example of how to narrow down a performance issue. Only one method, only one way. And I will demonstrate another. That is here. This is a BNT environment of Archer. So I have loaded everything here. So issue is when I click selection criteria, it gets delayed. Let's see. Don't need this one. Okay, it took about 10 seconds, so I will click this one. It's a very short link, so I will copy this one, copy link address. Okay, so unlike the previous one, we have a very short one and no references at all. So we will start looking into it. What we have here is we have the projection name here. Sorry, time authorization handling. So I will find that projection file. The code source search is not working, so I have manually found it here. It's in the Harvest Mirror team rep model. Time authorization handling. Time authorization handling, this one. Yeah, this is the file. So we'll look at the URL again. Then it is calling get compliance visibility. So we'll search that one. As a comment and a function. So we have just a function defined here that is returning a number. So not much helpful here. So we can either go look into this fragments, whether the code is there. But just to make it easier, what I will do is I will load the database, because for that we know there are PLSCC files that are getting generated by the projections. So we will look into that. The name was time authorization. Handling SVC. So I will view. Okay. And again, back to the URL. So this is, we know that this is a camel format. So if there is a camel format, then we know the database is, will be like there's a underscore here and so on. So we will search accordingly in the database. Okay, that's a lot of, okay, here we go. No, still no. Yep, this is the one. So this is the part that is getting called from here. Basically, show this projection file. Yeah. So after we came to the database, it's just a matter of investigating the database, right? It's just another investigation, not an Aurena. So the trick is, if we can shift our investigation from this client, from this application to database side, then that's the best case scenario, because this is we are familiar with. Or even if we can move it to the projections and client files, if we can narrow it down there, then that's also good. But there are scenarios that, like I explained, some of the things are generated by the framework, then it kind of gets complex, to be honest. But most of the time, we can narrow it down to the database or to a projection or client file. So that is the trick. There's nothing really complex that we can understand. It's just we are not familiar with it. Trick is to move the investigation to the database side. If you can do that, then that's easy to continue. So that's about it. I have a few more things to cover. I think those will be covered by Pasindu and something, so I don't have to repeat. If by any chance they didn't cover it, I will cover it at the end. So this is what I have to present. Do you guys have any questions regarding this up to this one? And these investigation techniques are just one of few things I use. So you can find your own style, your own investigation style when you are doing it. That's up to each of us. I will share this document and training materials plus the project with you guys. Any questions?
Excuse me, Nalaka.
Yeah.
Nalaka, we have already shared one document in our knowledge portlet. If you can share the rest of them in the same article, I think everyone can access it easily.
Okay. This, I think you're talking about this document, right?
Yeah.
We shared this one. The other documents, Shamaka, those were released by training department some time back for that 5-day training. So I'm not sure whether it is.
It's okay to share. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I will check that, and whether it's okay to publicly share for everyone. If that is so, I will let you know, Aja.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, let's move to Yasante's part. I think she will explain page designer, and afterwards Pasindu will describe about performance issues again, and I think a translation, if I'm not mistaken. So Yasante, this is over to you. Please continue.
Thank you, Nalaka. Hi everyone. I hope you all can hear me. Okay, like today I'm going to give you all a brief explanation of a scenario or a issue that I came across in the page designer. I will share my screen. Hope you all can see the screen.
You can see Yasante.
Okay. So the issue was in the customer's test environment, like under the manual supply invoice page where the header records are empty for invoices. That means like the data are not visible in the header part of the page. But in the same page, the tabs means the line information, the other blocks, not this part. I'm saying the line information, lines, posting information. So those tabs were visible. Uh, so not only there, even the drop down of the header part, there also the datas were not visible. But the gray bar was there. But whenever we click the gray bar, like the other parts of the like line information was data were appearing, but the header part the data weren't appearing. So at the same time the issue was in the customer's test environment, but it didn't recreate in customer's internal dev environment and the core environment. So the customer's test was in the UPD7, but the customer's internal environments and the core was in the UPD8 at that time. So for this customer, they encountered so many issues in the UPD7 test environment. So the some of the issues were solved due to the UPD8. So we asked them to apply the UPD8, whether since it's not recreating in the internal dev, to see whether it is solving. But after they applied also in the test, it didn't solve, the issue was persisted. So when we further investigated, we found out that there were some differences in the page elements of that particular manual supplier invoice page. So as previously they said that page elements can be viewed under the debug console, page info tab, the page elements. So the page elements, when we compare to the internal dev and the core environment, the test environment have the selector, a different selector and the LU name, the entity name. But actually the core and the internal dev environment had the selector called incoming invoice comment selector. But the customer's test environment had a different selector called reference currency code selector. And the entity type also different, the currency code. So then we recognized or we identified there has been a custom page has been configured over a standard page. So how do we find whether the page has been configured? Is there any window to identify? We can view it in the under configured pages of the, we can access the configured pages window through the solution manager, application configuration and custom pages. The screenshot I have given in the slide is in the UPD7 Aurena, but currently you can view the both standard and custom pages in a single window. I will show you all under the page configurations. So under the page configuration, you all can view whether that particular page has been configured custom or standard wise. So the pages can be configured through the page designer as well. So I'll give you all a basic idea what's the page designer, how can be configured. So I'll take the manual supply invoice page itself. So click on to the user and then go to the page designer. So the like page designer shows you the contents which are available in that particular page. Not only contents, the command groups, the forms. So what's the entity type that form is binded. So here you can see the manual supply invoice have a data source entity manual sub invoice set and the entity type, and the label name is their name, and the command groups determines the buttons and their functions. So for examples, so when you go detail, you can see the new manual supply invoice. When you click here, you can see the label name and the function as well. So the content shows, I call this as blocks or boxes. So these shows the page content. So the initial one is the header selector. So this drop down so here they have chosen incoming invoice common selector, which fetches the records to display in the header part, header drop down. So the down block shows the manual supply invoice group, then the line information, then the lines and the posting information. So when you click on the selector, you can see more details into it. So what's the entity it is buying to, and the labels to the label in the sense the data which is visible here. So y'all can, even if y'all can modify it. So if you all want to get the invoice ID or sorry, even the supplier name, so you all can put a so here you all can see the identity. So I mean the supplier name. So this button will shows the this is help to preview the page after the modification done. So here so when you do any changes there, when you click here, so you can view the modifications. So how the page will appear after we done the modifications. And then so when we go further, we can see the content of the selector. So when we check here, you can check the fields which are fetched to the selector, the supplier, series ID, invoice number, and the status. So when we do the changes here, for example, if I do as in customers environment, they had reference, currency, it's a code selector. So when we choose that, when we click here, we can observe the entity type and the name. And here we can preview how it looks. And when we save the customer, like the custom configured page, so under the page configuration window, you can see a new line will be added to the manage supplier invoice, that particular page, and it will be in unpublished state. But to make it like after we saved it, it will goes to the unpublished state, but this will be disabled. To publish it, we have to click this button. So another layer, I mean another configured page will be disabled upon the standard page. So as the customer is given a different like now we come to the customer's issue. So the customer, since customer is given a different selector, and that selector's entity is not compatible with the form's entity. So due to that only the records are not, the records, the keys are getting mismatched, and the keys and the records are getting mismatched. So somehow like we gave them a simple solution. Since they are not using that configured pages, we told them to unpublish it and use it. But at the same time we recreated the scenario in the R&D environment as well. So the R&D has given an explanation saying that, as I mentioned earlier, if you select a selector for a page that is not compatible with the entity that the page is bound to, then you will have to mismatch between the keys on the selected record and the data to be displayed in the page. So at the same time, you all might have the question, why in the LOV they are giving an incompatible selector? So if we go like the answer they have provided is that this is either because there's a technical limitation that the schema metadata definition that the designer is reacting upon, that only enable the designer to show a list of the correct types but not filter out the incompatible items of that type, or the schema for this type is not correctly defined for this attribute. This is true for many attributes. So the designer will aid the user to some extent, but it is vital that the user do have a deeper knowledge about the marble language and metadata structure. So this is the explanation the R&D has given. So somehow we provided a workaround for customers, so they are satisfied with it. And if you all come across a issue like that, even though debugging, kindly check the page elements to identify whether there are any configured pages upon the standard pages. So you all can use these windows as well, the page configuration window, to identify whether there are any configured pages. So that's it. Do you all have any questions? Oh. Do you all have any questions, or shall I hand over to Pasindu?
I think no questions seems, Yasanti. So thank you, Santi, for your presentations. That was really helpful. So let's move on to Pasindu. Pasindu, can you hear me?
Yes, Nalaka, yes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Please
I
continue.
hope you guys can hear me. Okay. Since Nalaka mentioned some methods, I'll focus on performance issues with the with occurs due to the huge data amounts in database. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, Pasindu.
Okay, thank you. Okay. When it comes to the database analysis, to get the backend and server calls and the database calls, we have logs and debug console as mentioned by Nalaka. So let me open up and find this is the text CMB, and we have the developer tools and log window. So when analyzing a performance issue in Aurena, I suggest it's better to go with the logs because there might be not enough details in the debug window. So you can open the developer tool and the log at the beginning. And if I go to a screen like time, You will see two methods that take time around 3 seconds and 2 seconds. So if we click on that, there's a header tab. In the header, you will see the request URL and all the parameters which you request from the server. And the request method is get, because it's requesting data. Most of the time, get methods occurs these database performance issues because they are fetching data from the database. Then if you go to the timing tab, you will see it will wait for 3 seconds. So and in the latter part, you will see transferred bytes and think if there's an image or something which has around 5 megabytes, so it will take around 5 seconds. Basically, it happens because of the network issue and actually not the performance issue. So ignore those kind of issues. So if I click on this one and try to identify the method, you can see the it's the main header, and this is the actually, yes, this is the method that took time. So I can just copy this and go to logs and search for it. So in the logs, you can see blue color text for the responses and requests, and the gray color ones for the database and server calls. So actually, in this database call, we can easily catch the database call. If you can see, there's a database call with text binds in here. So just copy the whole. And if you paste it on a word, you will see that there are two database calls in here. One is starting from this and end with this one. And the other one is starting from this one and end it in here. So basically these two are similar. The difference is the first one did not the variables. It shows you have to bind parameters like for the fetch first, you need to bind a value 501. That's like so what you need to do is get the second one, just copy it and use a PL SQL developer and paste it from the PL SQL beautifier. You will get the database call that we take from the Aurena client. If we run this one, you will see it takes the same time. So basically, if when it comes to this kind of performance issue, you need to follow the basics. Like you can click on this, then get the explain plan. And then analyze like a normal performance issue. Yes, you can remove the authorized API calls and run again. Likewise, you can do the basic performance testing after this, the one we should focus is getting the Aurena, getting the database call from the Aurena. If we can see, we go for the second one. You can do the same. Actually, it's also the main header. So there might be it's employee to authorize set. This is it. And you can find the SQL query. Copy and paste it on the SQL and use the PL SQL beautifier. If you need, you can bind the variables to the upper SQL query, but it weren't needed because it was binded in here already. So you will see the same time goes in here. Uh, and think if we get the database query and the time is not equal to the same time on the network tab, so we have to do the investigation on the projection file. So you can create a project and add the component from the customer, get the client file, check for the SVC, time authorization handling. Okay, it's this one. And go to the project file and search for the main header. This one, it's using time authorization. In here also you can see there are some API calls that can slow the Aurena client. So we have to investigate using these also. Actually, when we put, as Nalaka mentioned, when we put these things into database side, it will be easy to analyze and get the output. And then again, the one-time issues, actually there's an option to disable cache using here in the developer tools by ticking this one, or you can use the method that Nalaka mentioned, that empty hard cache, or simply you can use an incognito window in the Chrome. That's about the one-time issues. Again, I found some of the customer test environments that were not analyzed well in the database. So actually, this can use in the test environments or in some dev environments also. You just have to check the last analysis date from the DBA tables. In here, you can see the last analyzed date. And if it's not analyzed, you can simply analyze the table using this command, or else you can analyze the whole database using a utility analyze schema, but it will take around 5 hours. It's better to analyze the tables that you want. That's about it. And I found that a simple way to fetch translation because some of the dialog windows, if I get this, like Windows, you can go to the element tab. Uh, and search for the element. If the element was name is same, you can search it in the text translation, or I found something else, like the title was different. If the title was different, they have mentioned here the title, so you can take the title and go to the text translation and just search it on the text translation. And when you're searching, use the main type as web. uh, that's about the data analyzing part. Do you have any questions or suggestions?
Pasidu, when it comes to translations in Aurena,
Yes.
it's easy. There's another easy way. You can, if you want to check whether the translation is in the translation environment, the translated environment, you can select the language as you can go for the tech environment first and select the language as fictive, and you can log in as the fictive language. And according to the fictive language, that the commands that we use in IE, hashtag for translated words, dollar marks for term translations, which we did in, I think, application 9, but when it's only text translation. So if it's properly translated, there should be a hashtag with the word when we log in fictive language. So using that also, we can find whether the word is translated or not. Afterwards, we can check the translations. And also when it comes to Aurena translations, as you know, when it comes to even IE translations, Enterprise Explorer translations, sometimes the translation caches are dependable. So when it comes to Aurena translations, we have to clear out several caches after we do our translations. I'll put in the chat the steps that we usually use to clear out the caches and check the translations. I can't put in the chat. It says that failed. Shall I share my screen? Is it okay?
Yes, Tom.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, Chauka.
Okay, when we do translations on Aurena client, when we usually do in IE client, what we do is we just refresh the language cache and dictionary cache in order to see the translations. But when it comes to Aurena client, we have to clear out 3 more caches. One is projection cache, the other one is meta cache, and if the translation is related to a lobby, we have to refresh the lobby cache as well. So these are the normal instructions in order to refresh the caches. I'll send this to Nalak, and Nalak can forward this to others as well.
Okay.
Sorry?
Yes, go ahead, Chauka. Sorry.
Yeah, but when it comes to Aurena translations, what I recommend is rather than importing the translation files, uh, try to install the translation files using the installer. Make a build, install the files, and when you do in the installer, I think there's a 90% chance of having all these projections and meta and every cache to be cleared and properly inserted. But there's a 10% chance where we can get a issue due to some configuration and so and so. So, but the best option is to install a translation file. But it doesn't work. These are the instructions that we usually use to clear out translation, the caches in order to translations to be appeared. So basically, when it comes to Aurena translations, the fictive language and these instructions are vital when it comes to those kind of situations.
Apart from translations, in Chamaka's screen, we can see there's a projection cache and the metadata cache. These two are really helpful when it comes to investigating performance issues. We can try to clear them out and see whether there's an improvement or not, something we can remember. Thank you, Chamaka.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, I think, team, we have come to the end. So we'll go for a general discussion. So I think, Charita, we can stop the recording now.